Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to Tile Coach. I'm Isaac Ostrom. Got Steve with me here. Another beautiful day in Northern California. You might recognize this house. I'll put the video link down in the description if you want to see that video. But basically it was another shower failure. It failed because they used a wood curb. But yeah, so now we're starting to put it back together. Let's see what's going on. All right, so you can see what we got here. We have Curdy board on the walls. We made our curb out of 2-inch Curdy board. It's 2-inch Curdy board stacked. We still have the cast iron drain in. It was one of the main points of this video is how I'm going to show how to swap out this cast iron drain to a FloFx. But Steve did a great job yesterday getting the Curdy board up. I did have some dry rot to repair in the wall here, because again, the moisture wicked up and over, damaged the framing in there. I get that silly wood curb out and everything came in really nice. Curdy board actually just came back into stock at my supplier. We even went with a niche, and that's, you know, I kind of missed using Curdy board. We haven't seen it for a while because it's been out of stock. We use other wall boards, but Curdy board works good too. So yeah, so let's get this cast iron drain out. So we're going to be switching this cast iron drain into a FloFx bonding flange. And so these are 2-piece drains. They have a bottom flange, and this top flange, the top part of the drain is bolted down. So I'm going to show you how to adapt from this to that without having to break out all the concrete and everything. So you can see right here on the box, it says adapter included, and in every one of these FloFx drain kits, I put one of these adapters on here. So I'm going to take that off. There's the adapter. So I'll show you how that goes on. You just need to remove the bolts. I already loosened these guys up. Those come out. Remove the bolts and save them. Don't throw those away. Now I'm just going to use a chisel to take the top part of the drain off. So when these are hot mopped, they actually put tar in between the two. So you can see this one is a little gunked up. But here's a good example of what happens to weep holes. The way these systems are designed to work is that in a traditional mortar bed, as water goes down, filters down to the hot mop, it's supposed to hit the weep holes, which are right here, and then drain out. But you can see what happens. During the demo, I cleared this weep hole out so that you guys could see it, but that right there is a weep hole. And what happens is these mineral salts, so this is called efflorescence. It's mineral salts that are left behind when water evaporates. As water leaches through the mortar and evaporates, it leaves these mineral salts behind, and those mineral salts clog up the weep holes. See, this one's clogged too. So these drains, once the weep holes get clogged, the water has nowhere to go and you end up with issues. So that's why we're going to be switching to a bonded system that has the waterproofing layer directly under the tile. Flange cleaned up really nicely. Got the excess tar off of there. So that's the first thing I need to do. Okay, so this adapter ring goes on like this. Now this is a pretty tight fit, so I think I need to scrape away some of the efflorescence and tar that's inside of the drain right here. Okay, now that I have this cleaned out real good, the adapter ring is going to fit. So now what we need to do is make sure that we drill holes in this that line up with the holes right here. So one way to do this is put the bolts back in. I'll put these guys back in. Do you have the socket set, Steve? Okay, so now essentially I could put this plate on here, and I just need to transfer these bolts onto here. So what I'm going to do is heat these bolts up so that they get hot enough to leave an impression on this plastic. So now, if I put this in correctly, and be careful so you don't burn yourself, but if I put these on here, it should transfer the bolt pattern up. Let's see. Yep, just like that. So now all I need to do is drill these out with a 5/16 drill bit. I'll start with a pilot hole and then enlarge it so that I stay real accurate with these bolt locations. We almost
went fishing.
Did you guys see that? Almost lost a bit. You can see I'm not quite right in the middle of a couple of them, so I'm just going to bore these out just a little bit. Oh, there we go. That's good. Now take the bolts back out. Put that guy in there so I don't drop anything. The adapter ring has these little nipples on it right here. That actually keeps you from cinching this down and squeezing all of the sealant out. You do want a good bead or bed of sealant in here, so those little nipples on there keep a good space of sealant in there. So I'll be using FloFx for that. Kind of doing the same thing here that I would do with a pan liner. Just making sure to get a really nice fat bead of sealant on both sides of the bolts. This is probably way too much, but it'll just squish out. No biggie. So now that I have the sealant, I'm just going to go ahead and put the adapter ring on. And these are a pretty tight fit. So I want to make sure I'm in the right place. Get my bolts started before I... Oh yeah. Yeah, and it's probably helpful to have washers. These bolts had the washers for the cast iron drain, so I'm going to go ahead and use these washers also. I'm just getting it started. Now I'll tighten the bolts down. So there's the adapter ring installed. I got a nice amount of sealant oozing out all the way around. So I know that I have a good bead of sealant under there. So now that I have the adapter plate on, the FloFx just glues right into the adapter. So we'll get some ABS cement and thin set the bottom with these mortar lock channels and press it right into our deck mud. So yeah, so slurry is just a real loose thin set, and I'm just using all set because that's what we're using on the rest of the stuff. So I accidentally, out of habit, I put glue on the inside here, and I don't need it because we're going over the outside. So on the adapter, the glue goes on the outside, not the inside. That was a pretty tight fit. So just know that. Make sure I'm square. I'm going to make sure I'm square off of the back wall here. 12 and a half. 12 and yeah, perfect. FloFx is into the adapter plate. I have slurry underneath. So what the slurry does is the slurry bonds the new deck mud or dry pack, whatever you want to call it, to the slab. And by putting thin set underneath in those mortar lock channels, that's also going to bond the drain into the deck mud as well. So Steve's been mixing up deck mud. We got a couple good buckets. So here we go. Oh, that's some nice deck. Good job. Okay, so dry pack is down. You can see we got a really nice smooth finish. Level perimeter, all sloped down to the drain at 1/4 inch per foot. If you want to see how I do the mortar beds, you can check out more of my videos. Maybe I'll put the link down in the description, but I've done so many videos on how to do a mortar bed. I really don't want to be redundant with my videos. We're gonna, believe it or not, go ahead and cover this up with sheet membrane right now, even though the mortar's wet. I'll show you how to do that here in a second. But yeah, I try to get I always have like a path where I'm picking up where I've already troweled. For sure. Needed more mud. Let's see. Like that. So all right, so you can see I got a nice layer of thin set using the Curdy trowel over the fresh mud. Again, I've made a video on how to do this. I'll put the link down in the description, check it out. But yeah, I'm getting ready to put the membrane in. Gotta come in, huh? Should be able to tell where. Yeah, I guess so. Deal with that later. Those ones go in there. Nice. Yeah. This one's going pretty easy. Okay, so now we're just cleaning up. It's 11 o'clock. We started today at 8 o'clock. We actually got on the job site about 8 o'clock, got set up, started working about 8:30. It's at 11 o'clock, so only 2.5 hours. So yeah, so only 2.5 hours. We went from an old cast iron drain to adapted to the FloFx, to floating the pan and getting all of the waterproofing done. So it's ready to go. So if you want to pick up one of these FloFx drains, you can go to tilecoach.com. Again, there's an adapter in every one of these kits that go out. They're great drains. We love them. Tilecoach.com, you can pick these up. So before I go, I want to share a little sneak peek what we're going to be doing. We're going to put Hydroban Quick Cure over this one. This Hydroban Quick Cure actually can be flood tested within 30 minutes. So we can put this directly on to the sheet membrane that we have there, cover up all our seams and the drain connection where it meets the membrane, and it can be flood tested in 30 minutes. So if you want to see this video, make sure to stay tuned. I'm going to put that video up right here so you can see it. But yeah, just a little sneak peek on this new product. But thank you very much for being here. I hope you learned something. And before I go, I love you. I love being your tile coach, and we'll see you on the next video.